Okay, now in this video we're going to be talking about the naming of the columns. As you can see, the column type, we have defined the column names with C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5 right over here. And the naming procedure, the process of the naming is same as the beam namings that we have seen. So for the columns to have the same name, they must have the same size, same number of rebars and the same orientation of rebars. So for example, you can see that C3 column, there are only 3 C3 columns. What's the criteria to be a C3 column? Let's not look at the below ground floor right now. I'll explain that a bit later. Now, if you look at the other floors, the ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, you can see that the C3 columns must be of 12 by 14. So we have seen 12 by 14. And then they must have 6 20mm diameter rebars, 2 16mm diameter rebars. They must have the spacing here for the stirrups, the spacing of the stirrups, and then the clear cover is of 1.5 inches. Okay, so if this criteria is met for a few columns, then all those columns are going to be called C3. So from the schedule here, number of column, we can see that 3 columns are matching the C3 criteria, and right here they're named C3. So this column, and then this column have the same size, the same number and type of rebars, as well as the arrangement of the rebars, or the orientation of the rebars, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so similarly for C4, you can see that there are 4 C4 columns. So you can see that the size of the C4 is supposed to be 12 by 15, and then they're supposed to have 4 20mm diameter and 4 16mm diameter rebars, and this is the spacing for the stirrups or the ties. Okay. Okay, now right after that, let me see if we can see an example. Okay, right over here you can see that C2 and C3, both columns are the same size, right? 12 by 14, 12 by 14, but they are given different names. It's because the number of the rebars, even if the number of the rebars match at one location, for example 6 20mm diameter rebars, it also has 6 20mm diameter rebars, it's 12 by 14, it's 12 by 14, but this doesn't have 2 16mm diameter rebars, but this does have the 2 16mm diameter rebars. That is why these columns are named C3 and this kind of columns are named C2. And according to that, we are going to have to put in the name in our column layout plan, C1, C2, C3, C4, and all that. Okay, all right. And this is something that if you're not doing the structural design yourself, the structural designer is going to give you the names as well. And even if he doesn't give you the name, it's going to be like, hey, for example, let's say 12 by 15 and 620 and 416 is true for the columns A4, and then he's going to say it's true for the columns B3 and so on. So he's going to be naming it like A and 4, the grid lines A4, and you come to A4. Okay, A4, he says A4 is supposed to have this size and this kind of arrangement. So does B3. So these two can have the same name. So now the question in your head is going to be, which columns do I name C1? Which columns do I name C2? If I am responsible for giving them a name, which should be given the name C1, which should be given the name C2? So to clarify this, you'll always start with C1, and C1 is going to be the lowest size column. Okay, for example, you can see we have 12 by 15, 12 by 15, 12 by 14, 12 by 14, and 12 by 14. So C1 is going to be the column that has the least size and the least number of rebars. So it is 12 by 14 and it has only 6 20mm diameter rebars. So here you can see that C1 and C2 are the same. So in this case, this is a mistake here, that there is C11 and C21. There's supposed to be 2 C1s, and this is supposed to be C2, this is supposed to be C3, and this is supposed to be C4 instead of C5. Okay, so there is a mistake here, as you can see here. Okay, so that is how you can name the columns accordingly, and that is the process of naming the columns. All right, now another thing I'm going to explain here is this, the The spacing for the ties, you can see 4 inches, 6 inches and 4 inches. So well, this is according to the detailing guides. You can see that the detailing guides are going to be attached with all of the detailed drawings. So this detailing guides, I'm going to provide you with these detailing guides, and these detailing guides must be attached with all kind of detailing drawing work. Alright, so they will have more detail on this, so you don't need to worry about it. You can just attach them. Well, this is according to the B&B code guidelines. If you are not following that code, if you're following some other code, then you should take the guidelines from those codes and put them as a page there. And we also have another diagram beside it. Okay, this diagram is actually showing the 464. So you can see here that the spacing is supposed to be 4 inches, then 6 inches, and then 4 inches center to center. So for this location of the column, from here to 2 feet and 6 inches, the spacing of the ties is supposed to be 4 inches center to center. And then right after, from here to here, which is going to be a variable length, is supposed to be 6 inches center to center, the tie spacing. And then right after that, we have again 2.5 feet for the 4 inches center to center. So that is what is being written here. This is something that you need to write in there. Okay, so this is according to my my country's code. If this doesn't match your country's code, you just need to go into that code, look at the picture. There is going to be a picture just like this one, and then you just need to make a drawing of that picture on AutoCAD yourself, and then you can use that forever. Okay, so that's one issue that I wanted to clear up. Another issue I wanted to clear up is the below ground floor thing. So this C1 column, you can see that the C1 column is for all of the floors, like ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. It's the same throughout all the floors, right? So what's wrong with the below ground floor here? You can see it's 12, 14, and it becomes 15 and 17. Meaning it has increased by 3 inches in both sides. The reason for that is the below ground floor, you have to increase the clear cover. So above the ground level, the clear cover is 1.5 inches, and below there the clear cover becomes actually 2.5 inches. But if you put in 2.5 inches, that is not a common practice in my country. What the practice is, they round it up to a round number so that the execution gets more practical. So to do 2.5 inches of clear cover, it's actually quite hard to do it in actuality. Well, it's easy to draw up, but when someone is working, when they're actually making the column, it's going to be too hard for them to make a 2.5 clear cover, 2.5 inches of clear cover. That's why we round it up to 3, and it becomes 3 inch of clear cover. Since it becomes 3 inch of clear cover, just add 3 with 12, it becomes 15, and 3 with 14, it becomes 17. So that is the reason the below ground floor level column is high in size. Even though it's high in size, it is rounded. It is given the same name as C1 as the columns of the above floors at that particular location, because it is exactly the same column with the same size and the same rebar diameters, same rebar arrangements, but the clear cover is actually increasing because the code says below the ground level you must apply this much clear cover. That is why it is not given a different name. It is the same name with just a different clear cover. So that's why it's the below ground floor, and then it is then given here like that. Okay, so that is how you do schedule of column reinforcement. So this was not for our project, and in the next upcoming videos we're going to see it for our project. We just wanted to understand how to do these things. Okay, so that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching.